Hello everyone. Today we are going to do something quite special because it is approaching almost 1 year of me really seriously collecting sealed products and collecting for the purpose of gaining value. Some people may call it investing, or some people may just call it, safekeeping, or just putting them aside, hopefully, and hoping that they will gain in value, whatever you want to call it. That is what I have been doing for almost 1 year, and I wanted to do a quick review of how they are doing and what I have been doing, and also share a little bit of what I have learned along the way, and hopefully you gain something out of it as well. So as you can see on the screen right now is the total value that I have in my collection at the moment. This is in USD, and the amount that I've put in so far is close to 35,000 USD, and in Singapore dollar it's of course more, so but you can do your own conversion. I don't think the actual number is that important, but more important is also I wanted to share what are the things that I have gotten for collection and for investment purpose, and what I feel about them and how they're doing at the moment. So I have basically, it's a long list of things, 54 separate different items that they are. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just categorize them into a few broad category, main category that I think is more meaningful that way that we can talk about. The first one is of course also the biggest type of product that I have are the booster boxes. So booster boxes I actually started really buying from the beginning. This is one of the main thing that I have started because I actually started in this journey watching, some of these videos from the two main person that actually I watch at, especially at the beginning to learn more about this is actually Pokémon Michael in Australia. Shout out to you. And also, of course, Nostalgianomics, Alex. And also through Michael Pokéos, actually, I also learned about, Alpha Investment, Rudy, and because he mentioned quite a few times in his video, at least maybe not recently, but maybe, a year ago, half a year, I think definitely at the beginning, a year ago, where he mentioned that this person has, millions of dollars of assets or investment or products in his, warehouse or bathroom, whatever it is, and that really got me interested. I really dive in and see how did he do it and what he was doing, and of course this is nothing compared to what Rudy has, but of course that is inspiration, I believe, for many of us who is inspired, and hopefully can slowly grow our value as well in this hobby, in investment term. I know that at the moment it's not a very popular thing to do, to talk about investment, to keep product in our shelves, because it's not easy to get products at the moment. And as you can see on the screen, especially with the booster boxes, the recent release, especially this year, you can see that actually I don't have a lot. And this is also the reason, because it is really not easy to get product, especially at a good price. If you are talking about investment, you do not want to buy in at a very high price because the downside is way too high and it just does not make sense. So yeah, everybody is actually suffering, including us, people who just buy them and put them aside. If the price is high, I just buy less. If I can find good prices, I'll buy some. If not, then I'll just leave them, right? So at the moment, I have pretty much all series in Scarlet and Violet. The only set that I have from Sword and Shield is actually Silver Tempest. Last year we were still able to get them at a pretty good price in, I think it was this in December if I don't remember wrongly. So it was at 200 Singapore dollars. So if you convert it to USD, I think it's 160, maybe 150, 160, 150 USD at the moment for a box at that time. 6 months ago, and I got a case of it. That's the only case I have. If there was more, I should have bought more. I honestly cannot remember whether there was the last case I got from the supplier. But anyway, that I only have one case, and I was lucky, and it was doing very well. And Powder Evolve was one of the first one that I actually started buying in, because like I said, I watch a lot of Nostalgianomic. I still watch him every day, although I don't agree with everything he say, but most of the thing he said has some basis on them, right? some reasons to it, and this is one of his favorite thing to talk about, Powder Evolve. I started buying some of them and at a pretty alright price. Later on, I realized and I managed to find some good suppliers who I can buy at a slightly lower prices for some of the boxes. But at the beginning, I actually bought mostly loose boxes, one here, one from different places. So out of the 18 boxes, actually I have 12 loose boxes and one sealed case. And this is one of the first one that I actually bought in Powder Evolve. But after that, when the prices start going up, I stopped buying them, because like I said, if you are really into investing, you will know that it does not make sense to buy in at a very high price, especially if you know that you already got in at a pretty good price, you have good enough position. I think it is we have to know when to stop as well. And after that, I just got whatever I can get at a pretty low price before the boom in the price. So at that time, last year, we could still get Paradox Rift, Masquerade at pretty good prices, definitely less than 200 Singapore dollar. I think it was probably around 110, 120 USD. I'm not going to go into all the details, including Surging Spark at the release. Actually, we were able to get them at 110, 120 USD. But after that, the second wave and the third wave, it just got higher and higher and higher. Temporal Forces, I have said it quite a few times in my video, is one of them that was available for like the whole 6 months last year, from June up to I think December. Even in January, I was still able to get them at about 105, 110 USD. So I just kept buying them. Anytime I have some spare cash, I buy in. So you can see this is actually my biggest position, even more than Surging Spark. The recent ones, not so much. Destined Rival, Journey Together, I get whatever I can get my hand on at a good price. And recently, most recent edition is actually Scarlet and Violet base, because recently there was a small restock. I'm not sure whether it's reprint or restock. I didn't see the case from the supplier, but yeah, in Singapore, at least in Singapore, almost every shop only got like a few cases here and there. So even if I want to buy the whole case, I couldn't. But this is pretty close to MSRP in Singapore. But since I do not have them, I just got 2 boxes, since the price is not too overly expensive. And sets like this, the Scarlet Violet and the Powder Evolve, Scarlet Violet base, Powder Evolve probably won't have any more reprint, so it's pretty safe. But for cases, sets like the Surging Spark, Journey Together, Destiny Rival is really not recommended to buy them at a very high price, because you will not know. These sets are due for, it's still within the printing window within the next 2 years or something. So we really will not know what will happen in between them. So I think it's best to wait, especially if you already have some position in them like me. So there's no rush to, keep buying more and more and more. So the other one that I was interested to look at is also Japanese booster boxes. So I also started buying some. This, of course, for Japanese, we can buy only from reseller in Japan. You can find them in Instagram and things like that. I have made a video about them. So if you want to try it yourself, you can. So I have some of these boxes, the Terrestrial Festival, Crimson Haze. Terrestrial Festival, I got them December last year, so at a pretty good price. Recently, there was a drop in price. They probably have a huge reprint over there in Japan, but still, it is almost double MSRP at the moment. Crimson Haze was pretty good picked up as well, and this Night Wanderer Star Miracle is actually pretty cheap. But I got them because the price is quite low. They were selling for below MSRP, so I just grabbed a few boxes. The one product that is not actually making any profit at all is Battle Partner Super Electric Breaker. I got them directly from Pokémon Center when I visited Japan last year. So they removed the shrink wrap. And Pokemon 151, this is the Japanese one. I managed to grab a few at the last year before the price hike, so it was doing pretty well. And the third category that I looked at was the ETB. Yeah, this is a very long list, and honestly, later I will share more about this. This looks very nice because it's all green, but I think the issue with this, I've mentioned a few times, is really the space that you have to, cater to store all these boxes. and not all of them will do very well. And at the moment, it looks very, very nice because of the bull market we are in. But when this goes away, when the market goes away, how the ETB will do, honestly, I'm not so optimistic. Probably it will stay quite good, but is it going to be as good as this? Honestly, I'm really not that optimistic. So some of the boxes, like Journey Together, is one of my learning experience. If you saw my earlier video about the booster boxes as well, that one, thankfully, I was able to salvage that situation. But the ETB, I just leave it because I got 2 boxes at 120 Singapore dollar each. How much is it? I think 80 USD if you convert it at release. I kept it. I'm not bothered selling them to, it doesn't really matter. It's a little bit of money, and if I want to, I can open them later. The only few things that I actually sold them to reduce my position and also, take out some profit are the Pokemon Center ETB. Recently, I sold these 2 as well. Shrouded Fable and Stellar Crown, I sold 1 each. And Paldean Fate, I think I sold probably close to 10 of them. That's why you see the percentage number here is so crazy. It doesn't mean it make like 8 times, MSRP is not. This number seems so crazy because I have been selling them down and the cost basis actually reduced to close to 0 now. That's why the number is it looks so good. But yeah, so let's look at the other thing that I did. So I copied all the number, put it on a spreadsheet, and I calculated the percentage gain over here. So if you remember earlier, I showed you, let's go back to this, the total value in terms of my whole collection is about 60,000. Let's make it 60,000 easier to count. So, and I also just wanted to know how much of them are actually in English booster box and how much of them in ETB, how much of them is in Japanese. I just wanted to know that I have a good spread and interested to see how it will affect my decision making in the future and which one will actually do a little bit better. So I just copied all of this and calculate the percentage gain as well. And as you can see at the moment, even within just 1 year from the beginning of my collection journey, the booster boxes are actually doing pretty well. They are making about 50% return in a year, and that was way more than what I expected. ETB was also doing pretty well, 55% return, but the amount or the value is actually much lower because it is a little bit harder to buy in bulk. I mean, you can. ETB in Singapore, actually, if you compare to booster box, it's actually harder to come by. If you're familiar with the suppliers, usually even back then you can get cases and cases of booster boxes, but ETB is not so easy, especially if you have issue with space. And even if you get 1 case of ETB, the price is probably pretty close to a case of booster box, but the space that it takes to store them is so much more for ETB. So especially if you're like me in Singapore or some other places where you have space constraint, the booster boxes are really the way to go. Yeah, ETB takes up about 17% of my whole collection in terms of value, and Japanese about 11.5%. So it's not so much. The most of my position is actually in Terrestrial Festival because I really believe it will do pretty well. The second highest, I think, is Crimson Haze, if I'm not wrong. Then the rest is just probably Shiny Treasure or something like that. Not too much, a few boxes here and there. But Crimson Haze, I got them probably, I think it's below MSRP. And Terrestrial Festival, slightly higher, close to 70 USD, I think. Still a good price, but I believe it will do well. So I got quite a bit of them. So that accounts for about 11% of my collection. So I'm not sure how this compares to other people's collection. And let me know in the comment, whether you think I made the right decision to have more in booster box, or actually I recently see quite a lot of people asking for ETB in shops. I'm not sure why. Maybe because the entry level is probably lower, and if you are lucky, probably you can get a very good gain as well. But some of these gains are mostly from the older ETB. right now the ETBs are more expensive as well, and some of them are even losing money, like my journey together. The only one that actually will do well, really well, is if you can get the PC ETB at MSRP. That will, almost guaranteed to do well, but at the moment it's almost impossible to get, and I don't even bother trying at the UK or the US site at the moment. It's just a waste of time. And Singapore, they removed the shrink, so it's again useless. As for if I'm going to rip them, of course yes, if I can get them, but I'm not bothered enough to try them. It is not my livelihood or anything like that. And Japanese booster box, 11%. I do not want to keep this very high. I'm going to make another video about Japanese booster box performance, historical, comparing the Sword and Shield boxes and the current Scarlet and Violet boxes, how they did. I'm not sure whether I can compare them meaningfully to the English booster box. I hope I can. Then hopefully, because there's many discussion and argument about which one is better. There are people who really vow to invest or collect in Japanese, but there are many people who say that English is the way to go because there's more demand, more popular, more people do that. So, but the main reason why for me I have most of my collection in English booster box is really because this is the thing that I can access, I can buy in bulk, in big volume, in big value, and it is quite easy to store as well. And honestly, this is the main reason. And of course, I really believe that this is one of the safer product to keep. And the other remaining about 15% are in booster bundles. Actually, the main one is 151 and Prismatic Evolution booster bundles. I have some UPCs, but not too many. Teens, boxes, some of them here and there. Yeah, so this is the main spread of my collection. So after I'm done with the recording, I realized I forgot to say a few things and share a few more things about things that was not doing so well, and some of the things that I honestly have a little bit of regret getting. And I think I should also share this because we do not want to just paint a very rosy picture and everybody thought it's very nice. You just go and buy whatever you can find, and that's usually how people get burned. And so I wanted to share some of the things that are not doing so well, at least for now. I mean, in the future, who knows, maybe they will do better, but we honestly have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But I'm going to show you, I just ranked them by percent change. So these are the things that are actually losing money in a way, whatever I spent. And this guy lost 50% of his value. I'm not so sure whether it is really accurate, because with the Japanese stuff, usually they are not very accurate in Poke data, because sometimes they take from eBay or TCG Player. Maybe it's just a card. Yeah, this one, Lapras and Galarian Moltres jumbo card, I think it's just a card. This one, card collection, this is probably close. I think this is the actual product, the sealed product. So $49, $50. But sometimes they show just the card itself. So it's just a jumbo card. And then they somehow for Poke data, they take it as the actual price. But anyway, this is some of the item that I got. At least according to this, it's not turning a profit yet. Surprise boxes in Singapore, we can't get them for a very low price unless, I mean, you can, but if you want to get it in a high volume, you got to buy it at close to market price. So that's what I got, because I do believe in Prismatic Evolution doing well in the next few years, especially after they stop printing them. Also why I have Prismatic Evolution booster bundles, quite a number of them, and at the moment they are losing money. Yeah, because we can't get them at MSRP in a volume in Singapore. So poster collection, this is just for collection. I don't really care. Battle partner booster boxes, I got a few. I think I shared it in the video as well. So at the moment it's slightly losing a little bit. Prismatic Evolution ETB, more or less break even. I'm pretty alright with that. 151 bundles as well, same thing. I got to buy them close to market price, but they are going to go to print soon. So I expect this to pick up in the next few months or a year or two. But where's the ceiling? Honestly, nobody will know. But it is quite a safe pickup if you find any good price for this product, 151 products. Recently, I'm quite lucky because I got a blooming water at a pretty good price from my supplier as well. And I even got a Soy and Shoe UPC below market price from him. So I'm very happy about these two purchases. Whether I'm going to sell them or not in the future, I'm not so sure. Blooming water, maybe I will, because it is really, really bulky. And if the price is good in the future, maybe I sell them. This one, I'm not so sure. I think I probably will keep them for a very, very long time. Yeah, so as you can see, these are the things. And I also wanted to share, this is the one, Paradox Rift ETB. I bought it from my supplier because I actually just wanted to help to clear some of his stocks. This is one of the few things that he still have in stock, and it's not really moving so well. And I thought, since I have some spare cash and there's nothing much to spend them on, I might as well get them. But actually, this is one of the regret, because after that I thought, why am I breaking my own rules? In a way, because I made a rule sort of to myself that ETBs, unless it's a specialty ETB like the Prismatic Evolution or the upcoming Black Bolt and White Flare, or even like the Terrestrial Festivals, booster boxes, these special ones that I know they do not have booster box, then those up usually will do a little bit better. Even the Celebration, Champions Path, at release, they are not doing so well. And this one I bought it at market price recently. But Paradox Reef is a main set English product, and ETB probably will not do very well unless the booster box itself do very well in the future. Then maybe this price will go up. So I do not expect this to do very well, honestly. So in the future, as long as I don't sell them at a loss, I probably will just put it up for sale. Yeah, so these are the things that I thought I wanted to share. Not everything is very nice. Some of these things is just for collection. I bought them at just quite recently, a few months ago, at market price, close to, at least at the moment. It's not really losing yet, but they are not doing very well as well. But if you only have one or two pieces, that's fine. Now the other thing is also 151 and Prismatic Evolution. At the moment, if I can get them at market price, I would, because these are the things that I hope or I foresee they will do quite well in the future. So I do not mind, even if they are not doing very well at the moment. Yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention was with regard to Japanese versus English, which one I think or I would recommend going with. Honestly, to be safe, English is the way to go, especially at when the market is low. Like for example, last year, we can quite easily get English booster box and ETB at below MSRP from many of the shops, especially if you know where to go. You can get them at 30%, 35%, even slightly lower MSRP, below MSRP in Singapore. So it's possible, and that's also why Pokemon Center has many stock. The only thing that is moving is the PC ETB in the past. But for Japanese, it is not really the case, because even if some of the items can be maybe 5-10% below MSRP from the supplier in Japan, when you buy them, you still have to ship them. And if you buy in a high volume, high quantity, you have to pay tax. And in the end, it's still going to be close to MSRP. So I think that is another advantage when you're talking about collecting for the purpose of growing the value and to invest. I think English, especially in English speaking countries, English is still the way to go, even though at the moment it is very expensive. But I honestly I will not recommend going too heavy on Japanese, because even right now, I'm quite safe with my whatever I buy, and I only bought those things that I know will do well, and I got in at a good price. Like even Terrestrial Festival, I got them at a pretty good price, and the other items I got them close to MSRP or below. Usually it's below. So even then, the English booster boxes is still doing better than the Japanese counterpart, at least in my collection. So at least in Singapore, I would still go mainly with English. I will not recommend going too heavy with Japanese unless there's some sets that you think is going to do very well and you are able to get them at a affordable price. Then yeah, you can get some exposure in that. For fun, I mostly honestly just get them for to open. I recently most of the things that I open are Japanese with my kids. English is a little bit too expensive to open, so my own collection in terms of cards, many of them are Japanese. So that's the thing that I wanted to add. After I record the video, I thought I should share this as well, because I do not want to just show the things that are going well, but also share the things that I learned in this last 1 year. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know whether I made a mistake, whether I shouldn't. Maybe you think I shouldn't even be doing this at all. Maybe you think all this money will go to the drain. I hope not, but there's always a possibility. So please be careful. This is not investment advice or financial advice at all. If you keep track of your collection, do share with me as well how you're doing, whether you do better than mine, whether you do worse than me, and what are your plans in the future. And yeah, see you in the next one.